Hey guys, so the EZAs for the 7th anniversary LRs have been announced. I usually don't do breakdowns on EZA characters, but I think for these guys we can make an exception. So have a lot of tabs pulled up. This is the way that the international version, as they like to call it, the global version, Twitter tends to spread out the information instead of just putting it all in one tweet. So I have not looked at the information yet. We're going to be experiencing this for the first time together. Expecting big things from these guys. Don't forget that the Super Saiyan 4s here do have quite a good partner in Super Saiyan 3 into Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And there might be one or two characters from Daima that also will fit with this character once they're added to the game. So let's go ahead and see what we've got here. So I imagine there's going to be a new leader skill here. Okay, it looks like they actually didn't give them new, like, more stats here. Fuse Fighters GT Heroes, 3 key, 170%. An additional, oh, they're giving him 1 key here, I see. 1 key, 30% stats to characters who also belong to the Kamehameha category. So I have their original kits pulled up here. We can see that there's no key for the Kamehameha. That's all they did, huh? Okay. Interesting. So you're getting essentially an extra key for being on the Kamehameha team. So you're getting 4 key from that. I would have liked if they just made... They could have done this 2 ways. I think it would have been better if they either made this 170, 190, or if they made this 30, 50. To get them in line with, like, the new leader skill. It still wouldn't be as good because HP would still be lower. But my idea was them starting to do these 200% leader skill EZAs. What they could do is they could just start to get them out as fast as possible, and that would sort of get all the characters that are not yet on a 220% leader skill on there, so that we can sort of have like an even playing field amongst all the units. But okay, I mean, this sort of makes sense. It's already a pretty strong leader skill. All right, their passive activates the entrance animation upon the character's entry. 77% damage reduction for 1 turn and launched an additional super attack. Okay, this is actually pretty close to what I wanted to see from them. My idea for them for the intro was literally just 100% damage reduction for 1 turn. I mean, it's pretty close to it, right? Damage reduction 77% and launched an additional super for 1 turn. The reason why the additional super for 1 turn is so powerful for this character is because, as we will see, they stack. Right, they stack attack and defense. We can take a look at the original kit here. Raise attack and defense on 18 key, and then raise attack and defense on 12 key. I'm pretty excited to see if they bump that up to great or massive stacking. So we'll see. 2 key and 100% attack and defense and guards all attacks for 7 turns. And the best part about this intro is that there is no condition. You don't need to have all-out struggle characters on your team. You don't need to have Fuse Fighters or GT Heroes or Grade A Power. Just turn 1, they have their active skill. Or not the active skill, they have their intro buff up. This is such an insane intro. 77% damage reduction and guard and key and stats. Okay. Base effects, we have a 200% attack and defense. Receives an additional 2 key per type key served. I believe that's the same. No, it's 1. Okay, this goes up from 1 key to 2 key. Yeah, dude, look how much. Oh my god, look how buffed they are. Oh no, actually, no. I see what they did. They moved this, an additional 1 key per key sphere obtained. They moved this to the base effect. So this is no longer tied to the intro. I see. So this plus 2 key, they just took 1 of the extra keys from the intro buff portion and moved it down here. And then they gave them just extra key here. For every key sphere obtained, attack and defense 10% up to 77. Okay, so they want you to get 8 key spheres for them, which typically 7 is where the cutoff is at. Like once you start getting above 7 key spheres, it becomes a little bit harder to go from 7 to 8. And that's like where we see a pretty big cutoff. But yeah, this is good. For every rainbow key sphere obtained, chance of performing a critical hit plus 10%. Huh. I mean, they don't orb change. When attacking with 17 or more key, launch an additional super attack. When attacking with 20 or more ki, attacks are effective against all types and launch an additional super. So the first turn, launch an additional super, launch an additional super, launch an additional super. So you're supering 4 times guaranteed on turn 1. The normal super, intro super, 17 key super, 20 key super, and then if you get the hidden potential system, you can super 5 times. Remember, they're stacking. They're stacking. This is Namek Goku on crack, is what this is basically. Oh my god, yeah, they did actually bump it up here. Greatly raises attack and defense and causes colossal damage. They now greatly stack. Is this not just Namek Goku on crack? And then the 18 keys also stacking. Greatly raise attack and defense and causes mega colossal damage. Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously they're not going to be able to change the active skill condition, but it's already good. It's just turn 4 from the start of the fight. Okay. Looking pretty good to me. Okay. So, I mean, this is essentially like almost a perfectly designed unit because turn 1 is really the one turn where they would have been a little bit susceptible, I think. But they have 77% damage reduction on turn 1 now. Now, I don't think that necessarily means they're going to be able to go in slot 1 still because of how hard fights hit. So I don't know if you're going to be able to just put this character in slot 1. Now, typically fights don't hit really hard right away. There are a few, like some of the formidable foes, battle-hardened formidable foes bosses, turn 1 can hit pretty hard. But if you've got 77% damage reduction and guard, and they have 300% attack and defense turn 1, I feel like they probably could just go in slot 1. I feel like they could. Most fights don't start to hit like hard like that until like, you know, turn 4, 5, 6, something like that. So yeah, I mean, turn 1, you got this damage reduction up. But then remember, assuming you're able to get them key, which you should be able to get because they're getting 2 extra key per key sphere and or per type key sphere, and then they're getting 2 key from here. I mean, you're going to be supering guaranteed 4 times on turn 1, and they're now greatly stacking, and they're going to maintain their guard for 7 turns. I guess what we're going to have to wait and see is how much defense are these guys going to be at on their second turn? Because at that point, they, of course, will no longer have their damage reduction, and they'll also lose one of the additional supers. But this first turn, they're going to be fine, I think. Okay, pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and move over to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Let's go ahead and just do this as well so we can have a comparison here. We can get, well, I'll keep them up. Okay, damage reduction rate. Oh yeah, by the way, this is not really going to be as relevant for the pre-fused version, but remember, with the Carnival LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he's giving 10% more damage reduction support to this character. So once we get to Gogeta, I mean, it is, you know, it is feasible that we could have Super Saiyan 4 Goku up, which means that this damage reduction of 77%, he can have 87% damage reduction here, like the first turn he transforms. 300% attack and defense, receives an additional 2 key per type key sphere obtained, attacks effective against all types, guards all attacks, high chance performing a critical hit, launch an additional super attack, foresees enemy. Oh, he just has a scouter permanently? Okay, sure. Just permanent scouter forever. For 4 turns from the character's entry turn, randomly changes gears. Oh my god, he does Rainbow Orb change here. You know why that's insane? This is so well, okay, let's see what he does. So he's Rainbow Orb changing for 4 turns. For every key sphere obtained, he's getting 10% attack and defense up to 100%, which 10 orbs is a tall order, but if he's Rainbow Orb changing, it's going to be feasible to get that. For every rainbow key sphere obtained, chance of performing a critical hit and damage reduction rate 10%. Okay. When activating the active skill or when attack with 24 keys, getting 50% attack. Did he have that? I don't think he did. Yeah, he didn't have that. Just extra attack when he uses the active skill. Remember, that's a multiplicative buff that's going to factor into his active skill damage as well. When receiving an attack, damage reduction rate 50% within the turn when HP is 50% or less. I mean, that could be, it's a little conditional, but that should be good. When receiving a super attack, great chance of nullifying it and countering with tremendous power. Was that always a great chance? No, they buffed it from high chance to great chance. Wow. He just has a 70% chance to nullify and counter supers. Nullifies it and counters with tremendous power when facing only one enemy and that enemy's HP is 50% or less. So if you're fighting, if you are fighting an enemy who has less than 50% HP, you guaranteed counter their super attack. Am I understanding this correctly? Nullifies it. So I'll just read the whole thing. When receiving a super attack, nullifies it and counters with tremendous power when facing only one enemy and that enemy's HP is 50% or less. Yeah, it's a guaranteed counter. Is that good? That he's guaranteed countering supers? I mean, there's a condition on here, but I mean, I don't. He's got a scouter. He literally has a scouter. This guy seems insane. This is a big character. This is a big character. 300% stats, up to 100% more stats, 50% multiplicative attack. Remember, he's greatly stacking in before he fuses. Greatly stacking, and he's supering 4 times guaranteed essentially on the first turn. Massively raises attack and greatly raises defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage. So this is a 100% attack raise for 1 turn and a 50% defensive raise for 1 turn. What? Massively raises attack and defense for 4 turns? Dude, do you guys... Is this the best super attack effect in the entire game? 4 turn massive raise for attack and defense, mega colossal, and then the action break. How does this guy die? Like, legitimately, how do you die? I guess you would have to... You'd have to, like, put him in slot 1. I mean, just remember, you can literally see where the enemy's supering at all times. You put him in slot 1, the enemy supers right away, and you have, like, no rainbow orbs, and you fail the great chance to counter, and you aren't under 50% HP... And then I guess you could die. then I guess you die. Okay. Yeah, I don't like we got the EZAs for Namek Goku and Full Power Frieza. Those characters are Dokkan Fest LRs. What happened? What happened? Okay, let's move on to the gods here. Now, the one difference between the gods and the Super Saiyan 4s is the Super Saiyan 4s have just like cracked out supporting. Well, to be fair, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku also supports these guys because these are on Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Yeah, actually, it doesn't matter. I was gonna say the Super Saiyan 4 is gonna have a bit more of a good partner with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but that's not true because he also supports Power Beyond Super Saiyan, right? The only difference, I guess, is that obviously the Super Saiyan 4s are going to link up better with that Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Okay, so this is the same thing that they did here. They just gave an extra key for characters also in the Kamehameha team. Let's pull up these guys just so we have them. I mean, they're pretty similar to the Super Saiyan 4, so I don't know if I'm going to be expecting like a massive difference here. Let's see. Damage reduction rate, 77%. Launch additional super. Okay, that's the same. 2 key, 100% attack and defense, and guards all attacks 7 turns. Yep, so they have the exact same intro buff, which makes sense. 200% attack and defense. Receives an additional key +2 per type keys obtained. Let me just actually pull these guys up at the same time. Yeah, so, I mean, you could literally see it's the same exact... It's the same exact thing. Like, if you take a look at this part of the screen, it doesn't even change. It's literally the same thing. For every keyster obtained, 10% attack and defense up to 77%. For every rainbow keyster obtained, chance of performing a critical hit +10%. Yeah, it's the same. It is literally not. It is copied and pasted. It is the exact same. Look at this. Doesn't change. The literal same wording. for everything. Okay. I mean, it's easy to remember. That's good. And obviously, they're good. So I don't really have a complaint about this. Looks like they have the same super attack effects, greatly stacking attack and defense on both 12 and 18 key, which of course is very good. Yep, everything's the same there. Okay, so base Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta are the same as base Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta, which I don't have a big issue with that, considering I think they're designed pretty well. All right, damage reduction rate 77% for the blues here. Attack and defense 300%. Receives an additional 2 key per key sphere obtained. Is that different? Nope. Attacks effective against all types. Guards all attacks. High chance of critting. Medium chance of evading. Changes key spheres into rainbow. Okay, here's where we start to become a little different here. So Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta doing an additional super. Oh my god, I just completely didn't even like realize he did that. Foresees enemy super. So Gogeta has an additional super guaranteed and a scouter versus 30% chance to dodge and orb changing into rainbow. Obviously, I'm taking Gogeta over that. For 4 turns from the character's entry turn, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type int excluded to rainbow. So he's double orb changing. He's double rainbow orb changing. Right? Int to rainbow and then another type to rainbow for 4 turns. For every key sphere obtained, 10% attack and defense up to 100%. For every rainbow key sphere obtained, chance of performing a critical hit and chance of evading enemies' attacks plus 10%. So, the good thing about this character is they gave him the extra key per key sphere for, actually, no, it's just per key. I was thinking it'd be per rainbow key sphere, but it's not, it's just normal key sphere. Okay, I mean, if he's double rainbow orb changing, is it really that far-fetched to think he might actually be consistent in getting 5 rainbows? Probably more realistic, it's going to be 4 on average, 4 rainbows. So let's just assume he gets 4 rainbows. If he's getting 4 rainbows, he is jumping up to 70% dodge. Right? Because it'll be 70% dodge and it'll be 90% crit. Because he's got 50% crit here and he's got 30% dodge. So plus 40% of both would be 90 and 70. 7 or more key spheres obtained, launch an additional super. When attacking with 20 or more key, launch an additional super. When activating the active skill or when attacking with 24 key, attack plus 50%. When attacking, performs a critical hit and launches an additional super attack when the enemy's HP is 50% or more. Huh. Performs a critical hit and launches an additional super attack when the enemy's HP. So... okay, additional super, additional super, additional super. So he's supering 4 times. When receiving an attack, evades enemies' attacks when HP is 50% or less. Okay. So when you get... so these guys are attacking a bajillion times. The reason why this is so good is because it's when they receive an attack. So if you attack the opponent and they're starting the turn at like 80% HP, these guys are doing their 500 gazillion supers. They get the enemy to under 50% health, and then when they receive their attack, they're going to have 100% dodge. I mean, the reason why this looks better on paper than the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta counter, where is it? Is because this doesn't get affected by dodge canceling. Like if a boss is dodge canceling, Gogeta's great chance of nullifying and his guaranteed nullification will still activate. And if you look at a lot of the newer red zone fights, a lot of them are dodge canceling. So this looks like the blues here, their last thing, evades enemy attacks. Like this looks really strong and they have a lot of dodge and everything like that. But I think I'm taking Gogeta over these guys. I mean, these guys are going to be insane though. They're basically guaranteed critting with like 500 billion attacks. Double rainbow orb changing. Guarding. Yeah, and that's pretty much all they do. And then their super attack effects. Massive. Yeah, it's the same thing. Same thing as Gogeta. Remember, this character is going to be getting so much defense from this because they're doing so many attacks. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think they're pretty good. You know, I read the details of these guys, and my first thought is what happened with Namek Goku and Full Power Frieza. I think Full Power Frieza is pretty solid. He doesn't really have a great setup right now, and I think he'll look even better once we're able to get him on a team with like modern extreme characters that have big bad bosses. But like, it's not. He's not this. He's not this. It's just there's clearly there's clearly preferential treatment given to anniversary characters, right? It's just very obvious at this point. This is insane. Honestly, what I'm most impressed with, I think, with both characters is their turn 1 performance, right? 77, because this is literally they have the exact same kits in base. 77% damage reduction, guard, 300% base stats, up to 77% more stats per keys you get for them, and then guaranteed, what is this, 3 supers? 4, because it's the normal super, 1 from the intro, the 1 from 17 key, the 1 from 20 key, and then the additional from the hidden potential system. So you don't need to give this character, you don't need to give either one of these guys crits. And I feel like you don't really need to give addition. Like you want to give them additional, but not, you don't want to like overload them with additional. This might be like a raw stat character. I'll have to go back and check what their character specific skill orbs look like, but these are just going to be, I think, raw stat characters. I don't know. They look like they don't even need much of the hidden potential system abilities. Pretty insane. So yeah, there we go. Let me know what you guys think down below of the 7th anniversary LR EZA details. Looking forward to testing them out. They should be, I think, dropping either, no, I think it's 2 days from now. I think it's going to be, so this is the 25th my time. I think the 27th is when they should come out. Anyway, we'll be doing showcases for them and stuff, and it'll be fun. They'll destroy everything, and people will be laughing, and yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.